Help! Hey Peter, I'm struggling to study for my exams. Do you have some tips for me?
Yeah, sure. I have 3 long-term learning tips for you. So my name is Peter Verkoeijen, and in my work I focus on supporting self-regulated learning in higher education.
Okay Peter, then what's the first step here?
To use effective cognitive learning strategies. And these are strategies aimed at deep learning. Takes time, takes effort, but it's actually good. For example, space your study sessions over time, so not cramming the night before the exam. Use elaborative strategies like explaining the concepts that you learned to other students, to teachers, discuss with them what you learned. And another one is actually trying to teach something, so preparing a lesson about what you read or trying to do that is very effectively when it comes to create deep understanding.
Okay, then what's the second tip here?
To use metacognitive strategies. For example, it's important to make a good plan before you start studying. So think about what you're going to learn, what the task requires, and also make a realistic planning for that. So when are you going to study, how much time do you invest in that, and what kind of strategies that I mentioned previously are you going to use. But also monitoring your learning, and for that it's good to ask feedback from your teachers, from fellow students, so you can check whether you're really on track and that you're moving towards your learning goal. And finally, it's good also to reflect after you did studying and practice on whether you actually achieved what you wanted to reach and whether there are things you might want to improve.
What's the final tip you have for me?
Think about the resource management strategies that you use. Create, for example, an environment in which you can really spend your attention and effort towards learning. Not being disturbed will be very important, but also it's related to motivational aspects of learning. So sometimes you might not really feel like deep learning, and it's good then to think about why something would be relevant or interesting or useful to you, and that might make you help going on. And finally, it's good to think about the reward that you can give yourself after learning. So when I'm done with the learning after a few hours, then I reward myself with something that you find pleasurable.
I have an exam in 2 days and I'm so behind. I really need some short-term effective tips for me to ace the exams.
My first tip, and that might not be a tip you would like to hear, is to go for the resit exam and make sure that you prepare for that exam well according to the 3 tips that I gave previously. Another tip that might help you in the short run is to see whether there is a practice exam. At least you have a good idea what the questions will be that you can expect. And lastly, it might be good to see whether you can get an easy overview of the course content, for example.
All right then, Peter, thank you so much. I will try to keep these tips in mind and hopefully I will succeed.
And I hope that you learn deeply with these tips and pass the exam.